everyone, welcome to Mission for Excellence. Today we will do radial and transverse acceleration. Radial and transverse acceleration. Radial and transverse acceleration. In the previous video, we have done the radial velocity denoted as u is dr by dt and transverse velocity denoted as v is r d theta by dt. So these are the previous results we are using here. So this is the radial velocity and this is the transverse velocity. Now radial acceleration. What is radial acceleration? The rate of change of radial velocity, or acceleration means rate of change of velocity. So it means rate of change of velocity in the direction of radius is known as radial acceleration, and rate of change of velocity in the direction perpendicular to the radius vector is known as transverse acceleration. So first we will define this radial and transverse acceleration. So let us write here. So now radial acceleration. So let us define here radial acceleration. The resolved part of the acceleration at any point P along the radius vector say OP. If we take O as the origin, so radius vector OP in the sense of R increasing is called radial acceleration. In the sense of R increasing in the direction of the radius vector is known as radial acceleration. Now let us define the transverse acceleration. The resolved part of the acceleration at point P along a line through the point P, but at right angle to radius vector OP in the sense of theta increasing is called transverse acceleration. As I have told in the previous video, the radial velocity we take in the sense of R increasing, and transverse velocity we have taken in the sense of theta increasing. Similarly, in case of radial acceleration, we take the component of acceleration along the radius and in the direction in which r is increasing. It means away from the origin. and here we take the acceleration at the right angle of the radius vector in the sense of theta increasing, means theta should be increasing, angle should be increasing. So this is the definition of radial acceleration and transverse acceleration. Now we will derive its formula. To derive radial acceleration, let us take a curve along which the particle moves. At some time t, its position is P with respect to origin O. This is position P, and after delta time, its position is Q. Now the angle which it makes with the x-axis is theta, and after some time the change in angle is denoted as delta theta. Now at point P, the component of the velocity along the radial vector is, that is the radial component, we take here u, and perpendicular to this we take v, that is r d theta by dt. And at point Q, the velocity now will become, along the radius vector, it will become u plus delta u. It will become u plus delta u, and in the perpendicular direction it will become v plus delta v. So if we extend this line to this point, then this angle will become 90 plus delta theta. This is the angle 90 plus delta theta. So now let us take the acceleration. So acceleration of point P along OP, that is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, change in velocity, as we know acceleration is change in velocity. So change in velocity along OP in time delta t divided by delta t. Now you know the change in velocity means the final velocity minus initial velocity. So now we take the change in velocity as, the final velocity components are u plus delta u and v plus delta v. So this makes an angle, u plus delta u makes an angle delta theta with the direction of u. So its component in the direction of u is u plus delta u cos delta theta, and v plus delta v makes an angle 90 plus delta theta with direction of u. So its component is v plus delta v cos 90 plus delta theta. This is the component of v. So this is the final velocity minus initial velocity. Initial velocity in the direction of OP is u only. So we take here u divided by delta t. So now let us open this. So this will become limit delta t tends to 0, u plus delta u cos delta theta cos 90 plus, that is equal to sine. So that is will be equal to minus sine. So it will become v plus delta v minus we take here and sine delta theta divided minus u divided by delta t. So now as the angle is small, there is a small displacement. So when you take the Taylor series exponent expansion of these functions, delta t tends to 0 for the small delta theta, u plus delta u, expansion for cos theta is 1 minus delta theta square by 2 factorial plus and so on, minus v plus delta v. We use expansion for this sine delta theta also, so its expansion is delta theta cube by 3 factorial and so on, and the last term is minus u divided by delta t. So now as delta theta is small, so we neglect the higher parts, delta theta square, delta theta cube and so on. We neglect all these because they are very small quantities. So if we ignore this quantity, we are left with only 1. So it will become limit delta t tends to 0. So it will remain 1. So u plus delta u, it will be delta theta. So minus v plus delta v, delta theta, and last is minus u divided by delta t. So when you take delta t tends to 0, so this u and this u will be cancelled. So this u minus u is cancelled term, and we are left with delta u by delta t. So it will become du by dt. This will become du by dt minus v delta theta by delta t. It will become d theta by dt. And the last one, delta v delta theta, being two deltas here, so this quantity will be very small, so we will ignore this also. So we don't take this term. So we are left with du by dt minus v d theta by dt. So this is the value of this limit. So now if we put the value of u and v here, from here u is dr by dt and v is r d theta by dt. So let us put these values. So put these values. So we have radial acceleration is equal to d by dt of u, that is d by dt of u is dr by dt, minus v is r d theta by dt into again d theta by dt. So we have radial acceleration as d2r by dt square minus r d theta by dt whole square. So this is the expression for radial acceleration. We can write it as r dot dot minus r theta dot square also. In the dot notation we can use this also. Now we will derive transverse acceleration. Transverse acceleration. So now let us take the transverse acceleration as limit delta t tends to 0. Now we'll resolve all these velocities in the direction perpendicular to this, that is in the direction of v. So we will take here u plus delta u. Instead of cos we will take now sine. So sine delta theta plus v plus delta v sine 90 plus delta theta, and in the direction of v the only initial velocity was v by delta t. So now we will take here, as in the previous example, in the previous article, limit delta t tends to 0, u plus delta u sine delta theta sine 90 plus, that is cos. So we get v plus delta v cos delta theta minus v divided by delta t. So now when we take expansion of this as previous, so we will get again here, we will get for the small theta we get here only delta theta, and for this we get 1 v plus delta v into 1 minus v divided by delta t. So now the term, this v is cancelled here. Now v is cancelled, this plus v and minus v. So we will get limit delta t tends to 0 u into delta theta by delta t, that will delta theta by delta t. This term being two deltas we will ignore here, and we are left with this term v delta v by delta t. So this will become u d theta by dt plus dv by dt. So now we will put the value of u and v here. So u is dr by dt into d theta by dt plus d by dt of v. V is d theta by dt. So we will put here. So we will apply the product rule here. So we get dr by dt into d theta by dt plus r d2 theta by dt square plus dr by dt d theta by dt. So now let us simplify it. Dr by dt, d theta by dt, and this is the same term, so it will become twice of dr by dt d theta by dt, and this one r d2 theta by dt square. So this is the expression for transverse acceleration. We can write it as 2r dot theta dot plus r theta dot dot. So the dot notation, we will use this, and these are the radial and transverse velocities, and these are the radial and transverse accelerations. Now let us do an example. The question is, a particle describes an equiangular spiral along this r equal to a e raised to power theta. This is the equation of the spiral, in such a manner that its acceleration has no radial component. It means there is no radial acceleration. Value of radial acceleration is 0. Now prove that its angular velocity we denote by omega, that is d theta by dt, is constant, and magnitude of the velocity and acceleration is proportional to r. We have to prove three results. First, angular velocity is constant. Second, velocity proportional to r, and the third, acceleration proportional to r. So we have to prove these three results. So now let us solve this question. We are given r is a e raised to power theta. So now let us first differentiate. One more thing is given, no radial acceleration. So we write here radial acceleration is 0. And we know that the radial acceleration is r dot dot minus r theta dot square, that is equal to 0. So let us take this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. So now this r equal to a e raised to power theta, let us differentiate dr by dt. Differentiate it with respect to t. So we get a e raised to power theta into d theta by dt. Again differentiate to get the acceleration. So d2r by dt square. Now here we have two functions, so we apply product rule. A e raised to power theta d2 theta by dt square plus a e raised to power theta d theta by dt into d theta by dt. So its derivative is e raised to power theta d theta by dt. So we are getting a e raised to power theta theta dot dot plus a e raised to power theta theta dot square. So now we have this, we denote it by r dot dot. So now r dot dot is r theta dot square using the equation number 2. From here we have r dot dot is r theta dot square. So now equating the coefficients, we get, here we can take common a. Now this move in a equiangular spiral, so let us take this as, this is equal to r theta dot square is equal to a e raised to power theta theta dot square. Here we put the value of r. So value of r from equation 1 is a e raised to power theta. So that is equal to a e raised to power theta into theta dot square. So we are having this equation a e raised to power theta theta dot dot minus a e raised to power theta theta dot square equal to a e raised to power theta theta dot square. So now these terms, this is plus, so these terms are cancelled. A e raised to power theta theta dot square, these are cancelled. So we are left with a e raised to power theta into theta dot dot equal to 0. As we know, the e raised to power theta can't be 0 and a is also not equal to 0, otherwise r will become 0. So otherwise r will become 0. So therefore we get theta dot dot equal to 0. The second derivative of theta equal to 0. So we can write it as d2 theta by d2 square equal to 0, and after integration we integrate it. So after integration we get d theta by dt is some constant, let us take it k. And we know that d theta by dt is omega, so we get omega equal to k as constant. So we have proved this first part, its angular velocity is constant, so omega is equal to constant. Now again let us take this omega as d theta by dt equal to constant k. So again integrating, we get theta as kt plus c, where c is another constant of integration. So this is the value of theta. So let us put this value of theta in equation 1. So now this put in equation number 1, we get r as a e raised to power kt plus c. This is the value of r, e raised to power kt plus c. So now we have dr by dt, differentiate, so we get dr by dt a e raised to power kt plus c into coefficient of t is k, so we get here k r, this is r, so we get dr by dt is r, kr. And also differentiate this equation number 3, that is theta. So differentiate this also, we get d theta by dt as k. We already have d theta by dt, so we write here also d theta by dt equal to k. So now the magnitude of the velocity we all know, dr by dt, that is radial velocity square plus angular velocity, that is r d theta by dt square, and then we take root. This is the magnitude of the velocity, that is known as resultant velocity. So this dr by dt is kr plus r d theta by dt is k. So we get here 2r square k square root. So when we solve the root, we get r k root 2. So from here you can see this velocity, resultant velocity capital V, depends on only r, because this is the constant. So this V we can write here, that is proportional to r. So our second part is proved, the magnitude of the velocity is proportional to r. So now we will again differentiate to find the acceleration. So we will take the radial acceleration as well as transverse acceleration. Now we know the radial acceleration is r dot dot minus r theta dot square, and let us find out radial acceleration. So we need here r dot dot. So dr by dt we know the kr. So r dot dot is the second derivative of this with respect to t. So the derivative of this is kr dot. From this equation, dr by dt is kr, and again differentiating this with respect to t, as k is constant, you get here kr dot. And we know that r dot is again kr. So k into kr will become k square r. So we will put this value in the radial acceleration. So radial acceleration will be equal to r dot dot, that is k square r minus r theta dot, we know k. So k square r minus k square r, it is equal to 0. So now let us find the transverse acceleration. Transverse acceleration. Transverse acceleration, as we know, it is equal to 2r dot theta dot plus r theta dot dot. Now since d theta by dt equal to 0, so equal to k, sorry, and then d2 theta by dt square will be equal to 0. So this term will become 0. So 2 r dot is, we know, kr, theta dot is k, plus this will term 0. So it will become 2k square r. So now the magnitude of the acceleration, let us take it capital A. So radial acceleration square 0 square, transverse acceleration square 2k square r square, and then take root. From here we get A equal to 2k square r. So now from here you can see A is proportional to r, because these 2 and k square are constants, therefore A is proportional to r. A depends on r. So hence proved. Hope you like the video. If you have not still subscribed, then please subscribe and click on the bell icon.